The name of the game here has to be access. It is no longer enough for operators and companies affiliated with the industry to have a call out on size 3 font on the bottom of a responsible gaming page. We need direct digital integrations into treatment for those who desperately need access to care.
You're listening to 15M Mastery, a show that empowers you with insights from the leading iGaming experts to enhance your personal or business performance. The show is brought to you by tech-driven affiliate and media company Already Media, and supported by the AI-powered data analytics platform Blask. Yo Investments, a fund manager investing in outstanding people who are disrupting the iGaming, fintech, and crypto industries. And BC Game, the multi-award winning crypto casino with a player-centric approach. Hey everyone, and welcome back to 15M Mastery. Today we have a very special guest, Elliot Rapaport, founder and CEO of Birches Health. Elliot leads the change in advancing responsible gambling solutions through his behavioral health services company. Today, we will explore the evolving landscape of responsible gambling regulations and, the most importantly, innovations in the iGaming. Welcome, Elliot.
Thanks so much for having me, Dimitri. I'm very excited to be here.
Let's go straight into the action. So the first question is, what does the journey look like for someone seeking help with problem gambling?
So it's a great question. And frankly, listen, I'm glad we jumped right to this one to begin, because in many ways, this is the mission of Birches Health. We want to increase access across the US and eventually across the world for individuals who are struggling with gambling, with sports betting, with day trading, and with other co-occurring behavioral health disorders. But let's dive in a little bit more deeply to the process of what happens when someone reaches out to Birches Health because they desperately need our support. So at Birches Health, we currently work with a national patient population, and we're very proud to have expanded across the US only over about the past 2 years. So our focus here at Birches Health really is on ensuring seamless access to high quality clinical treatment, all covered by insurance and state funding. And that's what we do as a company. So when individuals reach out to us, we first make sure that care is covered by their insurance or through our relationships and partnerships with state organizations nationally. And that's truly crucial. It's a financially sensitive patient population. And so the mission of the company is to remove financial barriers to this specialized treatment really as best we can. But individuals who then enter our specialized virtual clinical program and begin customized care. And that normally starts with a diagnostic evaluation, and that's specifically tailored to individuals who are struggling with gambling, with sports betting, with day trading, or other behavioral and process addictions. And this is new, right? Historically, individuals who are looking for specialized treatment for gambling disorder, they could spend weeks, if not months, looking for the specific care. But because we've put such a focus on developing a national network of specialized providers over the past few years, patients can really access specialized care in less than 24 hours, even a same-day appointment at times. And treatment's really customized for each patient in our program. So coming out of that initial assessment, patients will receive a customized treatment plan that's a combination of individual, group, and then occasionally families and couples counseling, all supported by peer support programming and recovery coaching from individuals with lived experience and financial wellness counseling. Our treatment is also combined with a digital platform that's built for gambling disorder, and that really contains clinician-led exercises, worksheets, videos, and even learning modules to ensure that stabilization and recovery can occur outside of just a direct clinical virtual interaction. So we've really put a lot of focus on making sure that individuals who do reach out to us for treatment go through a clinical wraparound program, which is really the first of its kind across the US.
So I really like what you just said, because it feels like, for like me as someone who's been in the business, especially in the Europe, for quite a while, it feels like some of the things which you mentioned are new to the US market. And I really like the way you explain the whole user journey and approach towards it. So what do you think were like the most impactful changes you witnessed in the responsible gambling regulations across US? Because it's probably one of the fastest growing and the newest markets in the world right now.
Completely. So I think first and foremost, there's been some pretty significant increased media attention around responsible gaming, access to these resources, and really even the signs of at-risk behaviors, as well, of course, as access to problem gambling care. And that's been very heartening over the past 2 years since I founded Birches Health. But frankly, in the US, and in particular, I think on the industry side and on the regulatory side, there is still progress to be made. So in 2025, I want to see two things in particular. The first is more integration of responsible gaming resources at really the very inception of the player experience. So a microcosmic example here could be having a player watch a quick video on how to engage more sustainably during even the account creation and sign up process. Maybe it could also happen during the first time they deposit over a set amount. And then the second is more direct integration of specialized treatment options into gambling and sports betting platforms. So you have increased federal focus right now on ensuring that healthcare and that insurance coverage for gambling disorder specialized treatment is available to all. I think you saw that with the first federal hearing on sports betting, which happened in December of 2024. But at the macro level, I think what's really exciting and very good for the industry is that there's a growing recognition that gambling disorder can be linked to broader behavioral and mental health issues. So state governments, professional leagues, and operators, regulators, they're beginning to incorporate access to responsible gaming resources and clinical support for gambling disorder into the overall experience for constituents and audience. And this trend really, truly can help to remove the stigma that's traditionally associated with seeking help for gambling and sports betting addiction.
So there is one more question which got into my head. So you mentioned that each states are actually different when it comes down to regulation, self-exclusion, and actually the rules of like advertising, which obviously affect responsible gaming a lot. So do you think like there is a way to create like an ideal unified system which works toward the self-exclusion across US?
So I do. And it's a really interesting point that you made. So first and foremost, I think you need to recognize that each state is different in the US historically, as you said. And at the state level, awareness and access, they're crucial. So historically, of course, self-exclusion programs could take many different forms, whether there were, forms needed on a state level or even on a per casino or per platform level. But I think what's really exciting is that many states have brought this process entirely online. And then additionally, on top of that, they've created tech-forward processes to ensure that individuals can enter themselves into these programs as needed. I love initiatives like the National Voluntary Self-Exclusion Program by ID Pair. But creating a database that is able to digitally cross state lines and unify what is actually needed protection for individuals who may be at risk of gambling harms, that's really exciting to me. And that's a great first step over the coming years.
Do you think like technology can make it easier for bettors to like access help when they need it, like a special, like you mentioned, tailored, unified app for everyone?
Definitely. The name of the game here has to be access. It is no longer enough for operators and companies affiliated with the industry to have a call out and on, size 3 font on the bottom of a responsible gaming page. We need direct digital integrations into treatment for those who desperately need access to care. And we need a tech-forward approach to this. And so part of our specialty here at Birches Health, and something that we're very proud of to have pioneered, is really a direct integration via a streamlined digital pathway for individuals across the U.S. who are looking for specialized treatment from the comfort of home, all covered by insurance and state partnerships.
Nowadays, when AI is probably growing like crazy and the speed of integration of AI in other niches is all-time high, do you think AI can actually help to transform problem gambling detection, intervention, and actually the support as the result?
So this is something that I'm really excited about at Birches Health, and that we're already discussing building new iterations of with select partners. So it seems at times that, of course, the gambling industry has grown very quickly. I think, maybe the only industry in the U.S. which is growing, if not as quickly, even more quickly, might be the AI industry, it feels like. So I think on the responsible gaming and the problem gambling side, AI has many different interesting use cases, but two in particular that we're focused on here at Birches Health. So the first is assistance for individuals who need problem gambling support. When an individual is actively exhibiting at-risk behaviors and may have even begun the evolution from unsustainable behaviors to a compulsion to an addictive disorder. The purpose of AI there should be to recognize the common signs of at-risk behaviors as quickly as possible, with or without human intervention, and then ensure that those who are exhibiting these behaviors receive streamlined access to treatment from clinicians who are actively specialized in treating problem gambling, sports betting addiction, day trading addiction, and co-occurring disorders. Fundamentally, we want to get individuals who are in crisis into specialized treatment from the comfort of home as quickly as possible so they can begin recovery. But AI can and should assist with that, as well, of course, as trained staff members. But the second potential application, and where I think in particular there's a lot of interesting application, is really within more of the responsible gaming sphere. And that is for an individual who is perhaps starting to notice unhealthy or at-risk behaviors, but of course is not actively beginning the process of seeking out support. And so I think a lot of the groundwork and the training of the models is similar to other use cases, but the focus and the resulting call to action here is definitely different. Perhaps this is someone who's wagering $1,000 a month and wants to wager 100. And a lot of the focus there needs to be more on, call it almost course correction, and keeping someone who may not be actively in crisis or exhibiting the clinical criteria for disordered gambling, but we want to keep them away from their unhealthy behaviors progressing into a compulsion and eventually into a clinical disorder. And this is where partnership with operators becomes very important. And it's where we are, we as a treatment provider, we're currently a layer removed, frankly. I think it's worth flagging that the deployment sandbox for this sort of AI really is on an operator's platforms. And so we're very excited to have begun the discussion with a few of the more forward-thinking operators about ways to really ensure that individuals who desperately need care can access it where and when they need it.
I actually like it a lot. And the only question which left is probably regulation. Are we ready to start implementing all these technological know-hows from the regulatory point of view, or we need to have like another breakthrough, and regulation is just lagging behind. So what's your take on it?
Technology, I think, is the name of the game, right? And this feels like a very cold take, so to speak, and so to say that. But, listen, gambling has gone online in the US in many ways over the past 5 years. And I think responsible gaming has to go online even more so than it already is. And so I view this really as multiple-sided partnerships, where a lot of our relationships with state governments, with operators, even with leagues, like a lot of that focus is on creating a healthy ecosystem where individuals who may be in crisis and need access to care, they can get it as quickly as possible.
Elliot, this has been a fantastic episode. Your insights on responsible gambling and innovation will definitely help operators to navigate these changes. Thank you so much for breaking down such a complex topic into beautiful, insightful bits for our listeners.
Thank you so much for having, and I'm excited to continue the conversation over the coming years with operators, with regulators, with leagues, and most importantly, with a provider panel across the US who can get access to care increased for people who need it.
That's a great mission, Elliot. Thank you so much for it.